Parshat Balak, Chapter 22. Now Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amori. Moab was very afraid of the people because there were so many of them. Moab was overcome with dread because of the people of Israel. So Moab said to the leaders of Midian, "This horde will lick up everything around us, the way an ox licks up grass in the field." Balak the son of Zippor was king of Moab at that time. He sent messengers to Balaam the son of Beor at Petor by the Euphrates River in his native land to tell him, "Listen, a people has come out of Egypt, spread over all the land, and settled down next to me. Therefore, please come and curse this people for me, because they are stronger than I am. Maybe I will be able to strike them down and drive them out of the land. For I know that whomever you bless is in fact blessed, and whomever you curse is in fact cursed." The leaders of Moab and Midian left. Talking with them, the payment for divining came to Balaam and spoke to him the words of Balak. He said to them, "Stay here tonight, and I will bring you back whatever answer Adonai tells me." So the princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. God came to Balaam and said, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to God, "Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent me this message. The people who came out of Egypt have spread over the land. Now come and curse them for me. Maybe I will be able to fight against them and drive them out." God answered Balaam, "You're not to go with them. You're not to curse the people, because they are blessed." Balaam got up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak, "Return to your own land, because Adonai refuses to give me permission to go with you." The princes of Moab got up, returned to Balak and said, "Balaam refuses to come with us." Balak again sent princes, more of them and of higher status than the first group. They went to Balaam and said to him, "Here is what Balak the son of Zippor says. Please don't let anything keep you from coming to me. I will reward you very well, and whatever you say to me, I will do. So please come and curse this people for me." Balaam answered the servants of Balak, "Even if Balak were to give me his palace filled with silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Adonai my God to do anything, great or small. Now please, you too, stay here tonight, so that I may find out what else Adonai will say to me." God came to Balaam during the night and said to him, "If the men have come to summon you, get up and go with them, but do only what I tell you." So Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. But God's anger flared up because he went, and the angel of Adonai stationed himself on the path to bar his way. He was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. The donkey saw the angel of Adonai standing on the road, drawn sword in hand. So the donkey turned off the road into the field, and Balaam had to beat the donkey to get it back on the road. Then the angel of Adonai stood on the road where it became narrow as it passed among the vineyards, and had stone walls on both sides. The donkey saw the angel of Adonai and pushed up against the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against the wall. So we beat it again. The angel of Adonai moved ahead and stood in a place so tight that there was no room to turn either right or left. Again the donkey saw the angel of Adonai and lay down under Balaam, which made him so angry that he hit the donkey with his stick. But Adonai enabled the donkey to speak, and it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Balaam said to the donkey, "It's because you've been making a fool of me. I wish I had a sword in my hand. I would kill you on the spot." The donkey said to Balaam, "I'm your donkey, right? You've ridden me all your life, right? Have I ever treated you like this before?" "No," he admitted. Then Adonai opened Balaam's eyes so that he could see the angel of Adonai standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell on his face. The angel of Adonai said to him, "Why did you hit your donkey 3 times like that? I have come out here to bar your way, because you were rushing to oppose me, and turned aside these 3 times. And indeed, if she hadn't turned away from me, I would have killed you by now and saved it alive." Balaam said to the angel of Adonai, "I have sinned. I didn't know that you were standing on the road to block me. Now therefore, if what I am doing displeases you, I will go back." But the angel of Adonai said to Balaam, "No, go on with the man, but you're to say only what I tell you to say." So Bilam went along with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Bilam had come, he went out to meet him in the city of Moab at the Arnon border, in the farthest reaches of the territory. Balak said to Bilam, I sent more than once to summon you. Why didn't you come to me? Did you think I couldn't pay you enough? Bilam replied to Balak, Here I have come to you, but I have no power of my own to say anything. The word that God puts in my mouth is what I will say. Bilam went with Balak. When they arrived at Kiryat Chutzot, Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep, then sent to Bilam and the princess with him. In the morning, Balak took Bilam and brought him up to the high places of Baal. From there, he could see a portion of the people. Chapter 23. Bilam said to Balak, Build me 7 altars here, and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams here. Balak did as Bilam said. Then Balak and Bilam offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Bilam said to Balak, Stand by your burnt offering while I go off. Maybe Adonai will come and meet me, and whatever he shows me I will tell you. He went off to a bare hill. God met Bilam, who said to him, I prepared the 7 altars and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Then Adonai put a word in Bilam's mouth and said, Go on back to Balak and speak as I tell you. He went back to him, and there, standing by his burnt offering, he with all the princes of Moab, he made his pronouncement. Balak, the king of Moab, brings me from Aram, from the eastern hills, saying, Come, curse Yaakov for me. Come and denounce Israel. How am I to curse those whom God has not cursed? How am I to denounce those whom Adonai has not denounced? From the top of the rocks I see them, from the hills I behold them. Yes, a people that will dwell alone, and not think itself one of the nations. Who has counted the dust of Yaakov, or numbered the ashes of Israel? May I die as the righteous die. May my end be like theirs. Balak said to Bilam, What have you done to me? To curse my enemies is why I brought you, and here you have totally blessed them. He answered, Mustn't I take care to say just what Adonai puts in my mouth? Balak said to him, All right, come with me to another place where you can see them. You will see only some of them, not all, but you can curse them for me from there. He took him through the field of Zophim to the top of the Pisgah range, built 7 altars, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Bilam said to Balak, Stand here by your burnt offering, while I go over there for a meeting. Adonai met Bilam, put a word in his mouth, and said, Go on back to Balak, and speak as I tell you. He came to him and stood by his burnt offering, with all the princes of Moab. Balak asked him, What did Adonai say? Then Bilam made his pronouncement, Get up, Balak, and listen. Turn your ears to me, son of Zippor. God is not a human who lies, or a mortal who changes his mind. When he says something, he will do it. When he makes a promise, he will fulfill it. Look, I am ordered to bless. When he blesses, I can't reverse it. No one has seen guilt in Yaakov, or perceived perversity in Israel. Adonai their God is with them, and acclaimed as king among them. God, who brought them out of Egypt, gives them the strength of a wild ox. Thus one can't put a spell on Yaakov. No magic will work against Israel. It can now be said of Yaakov and Israel, What is this that God has done? Here is a people rising up like a lioness. Like a lion he rears himself up. He will not lie down till he eats up the prey and drinks the blood of the slain. Balak said to Bilam, Obviously, you won't curse them, but at least don't bless them. However, Bilam answered Balak, Didn't I warn you that I must do everything Adonai says? Balak said to Bilam, Come, I will take you now to another place. Maybe it will please God for you to curse them for me from there. Balak took Bilam to the top of Peor, overlooking the desert. Bilam said to Balak, Build me 7 altars here, and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams. Balak did as Bilam said, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Chapter 24. When Bilam saw that it pleased Adonai to bless Israel, he didn't go, as at the other times, to make use of divination, but looked out toward the desert. Bilam raised his eyes and saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe. Then the Spirit of God came upon him, and he made his pronouncement. This is the speech of Bilam, son of Beor, the speech of the man whose eyes have been opened, the speech of him who hears God's words, who sees what Shaddai sees, who has fallen, yet has open eyes. How lovely are your tents, Yaakov! your encampments, Israel. They spread out like valleys, like gardens by the riverside, like succulent aloes planted by Adonai, like cedar trees next to the water. Water will flow from their branches, their seed will have water aplenty. Their king will be higher than Agag, and his kingdom lifted high. God, who brought them out of Egypt, gives them the strength of a wild ox. They will devour the nations opposing them, break their bones, pierce them with their arrows. When they lie down, they crouch like a lion, or like a lioness. Who dares to rouse it? Blessed be all who bless you. Cursed be all who curse you. Balak blazed with fury against Bilam. He struck his hands together and said to Bilam, I summoned you to curse my enemies. But here you have done nothing but bless them. 3 times already. Now you had better escape to your own place. I had planned to reward you very well, but now Adonai has deprived you of payment. Bilam answered Balak, Didn't I tell the messengers you sent me that even if Balak would give me his palace full of silver and gold, I could not of my own accord go beyond the word of Adonai to do either good or bad, that what Adonai said is what I would say. But now that I am going back to my own people, come, I will warn you what this people will do to your people in the Acharit Hayamim. So we made his pronouncement. This is the speech of Bilam, son of Beor, the speech of the man whose eyes have been opened, the speech of him who hears God's words, who knows what Elyon knows, who sees what Shaddai sees, who has fallen, yet has open eyes. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not soon. A star will step forth from Yaakov, a scepter will arise from Israel, to crush the corners of Moab, and destroy all descendants of Shet. His enemies will be his possessions, Edom and Seir possessions. Israel will do valiantly. From Yaakov will come someone who will rule, and he will destroy what is left of the city. He saw Amalek and made this pronouncement. First among nations was Amalek, but destruction will be its end. He saw the Canaanite and made this pronouncement. Though your dwelling is firm, your nest set on rock, Cain will be wasted while captive to Ashur. Finally he made this pronouncement. Oh no! Who can live when God does this? But ships will come from the coast of Kittim to subdue Ashur and subdue Ever, but they too will come to destruction. Then Balaam got up, left and returned to his home, and Balak too went his way. Chapter 25. Israel stayed at Shittim, and there the people began whoring with the women of Moab. These women invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, where the people ate and bowed down to their gods. With Israel thus joined to Baal Peor, the anger of Adonai blazed up against Israel. Adonai said to Moshe, Take all the chiefs of the people, and hang them facing the sun before Adonai, so that the raging fury of Adonai will turn away from Israel. Moshe said to the judges of Israel, Each of you is to put to death those in his tribe who have joined themselves to Baal Peor. Just then, in the sight of Moshe and the whole community of Israel, as they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting, a man from Israel came by, bringing to his family a woman from Midian. When Pinchas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aharon the Kohen, saw it, he got up from the middle of the crowd, took a spear in his hand, and pursued the man from Israel right into the inner part of the tent, where he thrust his spear through both of them, the man from Israel and the woman through her stomach. Thus was the plague among the people of Israel stopped. Nevertheless, 24,000 died in the plague.